Well, hello. Sorry, I'm not quite there yet. Oh, goodness. Let's get flipped over. Let's start chatting with each other. Hi. Hey, friends. I am going to listen to my own show. I haven't moved my avatar over yet. Hang on one sec. Normally, I move myself to the live room, but you know, I'm trying to hang out. I'm trying to listen to the show before me because, of course, Make stuff is fabulous and very interesting and always has great guests and always has cool topics. And then there's me and I'm fucking useless. So there we go. I've moved. You've missed me terribly. That's great. I've been here. But hey, why not? So hi, welcome to everybody. We're going to do another CyberBuzz Radio today. We're getting there. If you've taken a look at the overlay, it's not perfect, but we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. I was just fucking around with it for the last couple seconds. Let me see. Can I... How's my everything? Is it good? So we're working on living up to the professionalism of the DJ before me. Not there yet. Gonna get there. It'll happen. But we're gonna do a lot of synthwave today. We're gonna talk a little bit about some crypto art stuff. I want to pick your guys' brain on some... Oh, my glasses are driving me nuts. I want to pick your guys' brain on some video stuff that we could do. We've got lots of things to talk about today. So if you guys are here and you want to just hang out and listen to some music and have some fun chat, that's what today is going to be like. We've fixed some of the screens. If you were managing to watch on one of the many media that I'm now streaming to, because we've been testing this together, such English many chuckle. Yeah, sometimes I have moments of just complete brain fartery where I can't word. My brain doesn't brain, which is the perfect way for a DJ to handle working, right? Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna figure out the overlay situation, but chat is a little bit better. I believe everything is working. So here's the deal: we stream from Vim.tv. They are fabulous. They are the Hive-powered blockchain-centric solution, and that's where we want to get everybody. But of course, we're starting to kind of move outwards, and we've seen in the last couple shows we've had people join the chat just randomly from around the internet, which is super cool. So we're starting to onboard people a little more quickly, and one viewer at a time as the show goes. But so the reality is you're gonna find it is on the Twitch stream, it is on the YouTube stream, it is on the, I don't even know else. I think I'm doing Periscope. I think I'm on Twitter. So wherever you want to watch, that's great. That's fine with you. And of course, you can go to mspwaves.com, which is our super cool website, which includes Hive tipping and all of the DJs' profiles and all the artist profiles. So it's kind of like we're getting this under control, slowly but surely. So listen up. I hope you guys have had a great week. It's been another strange and stressful one out in the world at large. So if you are watching from somewhere else, say hi. Throw it in chat. The chat is hooked up. So anywhere you say hi from any of the platforms, including even over on openhive.chat, anywhere you want to say hi from, say hi. Join in. It's very important. And I know some of you are here to only troll me and have absolutely zero interest in the content of the show, and I accept that. It is part of the job. So over the last week, I was just curious to know if there's anything going on with you guys that you want to bring up with the course of the Hive blockchain. If there's any questions or comments or stuff that is on your mind that you want me to either address or answer, because that's sort of what the show is about. That's what we usually start with. And so for most people, something comes up over the course of the week. For the last couple weeks, we've talked a little bit about the upcoming hard forks, and we've talked a little bit about timing, and we've actually had some really cool theoretical discussions on tying projects into the blockchain. Yes, I know Ron has a shill service apparently that he wants to talk about. If you want to come on air and talk about something, you're allowed to do that as well. But so basically today is going to be, I want to pick your brains a little bit. I want to pick your brains a little bit. Revised Sociology is saying that Exode is worth a mention. Now, I don't know what Exode is. So if you guys want to talk a little bit about that, we can do that, because we definitely do need to have a blockchain gaming and a Hive-centric gaming show. 100%. It's definitely on the docket. But for now, because I haven't done any actual research on it, somebody else would have to lead that conversation. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there are playing games on Hive already. We have some great ones. Mexican Spock, who is clearly Swoop. And it cracks me up because the avatars are in chat, and you might actually even be able to see them down below on the overlay. He's Mexican Spock, but it's an image of a Canadian $5 bill with Spock ears on it. So Alt Yes is Alt Yes is an extension for your browser. It does a lot of the stuff. It combines a lot of things that existed in the old Steam ecosystem that hadn't been pulled over to Hive yet. But largely it is a lot of sharing tools that allow you from your browser with this extension to yeah, this syncs much more quickly than Discord. Yeah, Revised Sociology. If you watch from the Vim stream or one of the other streams, they are getting they're getting the information from my magical broadcast more quickly than Discord does. Discord's going through a couple extra layers of servers. So if you want the best sound experience, I was going to say the best facial, but I don't really want to open up that can of worms. If you want the best facial experience, if you want the best experience overall, definitely check out one of the streaming solutions. Vim TV is amazing, and so are many of the others, and they sound so much better than Discord. Discord sounds like donkey dicks in your ears. But it is a solution. So many of you come here to chat, and it just makes it easy. So just finishing up on Alt Yes, I believe it is Guilty Parties, Jack Miller, Engine Witty. I think Snook is also there. Hi, Foxon. Hi from Twitch. Hi from Open Hive. Look at Foxon. Just opening every window. Boom, 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 boom. Hi from YouTube. See? Fabulous. Look at all these fancy things we have going on. You can be wherever you want and still participate. It's magic. So anyways, and the final part of Alt Yes is they have also hello from Twitch. Oh, hey, Crocodile Crew. Hey, Azaria's joined us, and hi to everybody else who's just joining us. That's very exciting. Very exciting. Now, Crocodile Crew, you are not a Hiver, so we're gonna want to pick your brain over the course of the show too. And if you want a free account, that offer still stands. We would love to bring you over to the Hive blockchain. So with all that being said, some of the last bits of Alt Yes is it is for sharing back and forth between other social media to the Hive blockchain. But they also have a tipping feature, which you guys might remember we actually built on Steam way back in the day. Now, it might be interesting for us to talk a little bit about tipping, because every time tipping is reintroduced, and Croc is definitely not you, Swoop. I know this for a fact, it's not you, but nice try. So stop trying to make it sound like I have less listeners. Let me have this small win. Croc, thank you. Croc, thank you. But so we can have a talk about tipping, because tipping in the crypto space and tipping as a creator, as a creator, you think, this is it. This is what I need. This is what I must have, because everybody will tip me. They just couldn't do it. That's why I wasn't getting paid. And then nobody tips you. And so this is a really fascinating thing. And we learned this while we were building a tipping service for the blockchain that shall not be named. People were very excited. For the first 2 or 3 weeks, people were losing their goddamn minds. People were tipping all over the place. And then it just petered out. And one of the reasons, hey, Kitty Girls joined us. Sahid, I don't know if I've ever said hi to you. I haven't seen you around in a long time. So hello, thanks for joining us here. If you do hang out in the Discord, you will get a little featured listener avatar. You'll show up on the screen. Oh, I call you out and then you just disappear. But so yeah, you can actually show up on the overlay. Everybody will be able to see you. I'm working on some other API connections, so you can all look at and talk to each other like a big, fancy, real streamer. What up? But, the tipping thing, for you guys, I see many of you in here, you are creators, you are, really active community members. How do you find tipping as time goes on? Because one thing I've noticed is people who are very quick to adopt tipping are the ones who are hopefully going to make the most tips. Crocodile Crew is gonna figure this Discord thing out because you want level ups. Well, apparently Twitch has a bunch too. Apparently I'm gonna earn an emote, and there's a bunch of things that are gonna happen with the Twitch stream. We're gonna get on it. We're gonna figure it out. You know, I don't know shit about being a streamer. I've been doing this for 3 years, and I'm still absolutely fucking god awful at it. So the Canadian in me. So one thing that I've learned is people who are really excited about tips are often the ones who understand how tipping can really benefit them. And they want to show people how easy it is, and, you know, how they want to lead by example. And that's great to start with, except eventually you can only tip other people so much, and then you're waiting for your tips to come back. And part of this becomes problematic is because we're always looking for content consumers outside of the Hive blockchain to come in. Now, they don't have Hive to tip you with. They don't necessarily even have a Hive account. The sort of whole process of tipping on the sites or with the blockchain currency is not familiar to them. And so this is, hey, Eileen. Hello, Eileen. You know, this is one of those things that we haven't solved yet. And there's been a number of different tipping solutions. PeakD is one of our front ends. You can check things out on there. It's beautiful. It's feature rich. It has tipping built right in. And outside tipping services all exist. And yet they've never really driven adoption. Not the way we've thought they will. So I'm curious to hear from you guys. Those of you on the chain, what is it about tip? What would you change about tipping that you think might make it more effective? And for somebody like Croc, you are coming in, you're hanging out, you're consuming content right now. You're joining us. Maybe you're joining us on one of the social media for this live stream. You want to listen to some synthwave music. You want to talk about cryptocurrency. You want to learn a little bit more about the weird online digital neo-noir kind of ecosystem around you. Cool. Do you feel like you would potentially engage with or tip a content creator? It's a really interesting thought. Here you are, like, you know, so we talk a lot about why tipping matters, and we talk a lot about how these things are so crucial for our ecosystem, but is it effective, and will it do what we think it is? Now, Clay says whale shares tried to go just the tip, just for a second, just to see how it feels, and it didn't necessarily work. So yeah, Crocodile Crew, you are a perfect example. You're going to help us here kind of get this going today. So this is your second time using Twitch. Are we talking about bits? Yes, basically. So let's kind of back this up for a second. Up to this point, there were only X amount of options for live streaming, right? You could only use certain platforms to live stream. And live streamers are constantly trying to get their content seen. One of the reasons that we create content is not just to please ourselves, obviously, but we always hope that we're going to stumble on something that other people want to pay for. We know that. Musicians, artists, writers, poets, analysts, whatever. Whatever the case may be, whatever you're producing, anything, you're hoping at some point it will be parlayed into a job, money, anything that can help you survive in what is probably the coming post-apocalyptic wasteland. Hey, Solo! So here's the thing, is as the Twitch ecosystem expanded, you could become monetized. People who use Twitch could buy these bits and then gift them to the streamers that they love. And so there became a built-in... Crocodile, you're awesome. So there became a built-in tipping system. And this happens, let's think about this. What are all the websites we like to use? It's happening now on Reddit. We know this happens even on online news sites. We say, yeah, just the tip, just the tip. This happens on online news sites, anything online. Blogs have always had little tip jars. Buy me a coffee with PayPal. This is the constant struggle. How do you monetize on the internet? This isn't a Hive-centric problem. It's not even a blockchain-centric problem. Since the beginning of the internet and the time that we started putting things here online in the hopes that somebody somewhere would love it and validate us, we've been looking for ways to do it. Now, one of the big scandals, of course, and of the last decade and whatever else, it's not even a scandal. One of the truths is who controls the media? Who controls the platform? And we talk about on this show, and for everybody who's already into Hive, into blockchain, into cryptocurrency, into self-sovereignty, into owning their own data, decentralization is more than a buzzword. If Twitch doesn't like me and Twitch bans me, which is very possible. If YouTube says, hey, what you're doing doesn't fit the agenda and we don't want you to get paid. And in fact, this video today would not be eligible to be monetized because I'm going to play music by some artists. Now, it's funny because those artists have given us permission and we pay also. We pay the artists. But YouTube says, absolutely not. No monetization. So when another party has control over that interaction, we start looking for new solutions. And tipping is one of those things that keeps coming back. It's peer-to-peer, it's person-to-person. You know, rarely are you going to get attacked on the street and somebody's going to yoink the tip out of your hand before you give it to the other person. And that's why systems that are decentralized and blockchains like Hive and Corbin! Is Corbin Crocodile? Did you do it? Oh my goodness, give him mad love if he did. High five, man. Well done. So tipping becomes really, really important. And this is for anybody. Again, you know, we're talking very much wider than Hive today. So now we have a blockchain where you own your own data, where your followers, your content, your likes, your votes all follow you, no matter what front end you use. No matter what front end shuts you down, you still have all those things. They are yours and you can monetize them at all times. That's fucking cool. So what's the next step and what's missing in tipping? So I'm curious to hear from you guys. Is there a reason? Now, Kitty Girl was saying that she uses it. Absolutely, she uses the peak D feature. And, you know, Clay is saying, yeah, well, you know, only tipping isn't going to work. So what's the missing link here? And can we talk a little bit about that today? Because I think it's really important. All of us are looking to earn from our content or be able to help others earn. And it's a weird situation. So in a time where Patreon says, oh, I'm sorry, no, you said something nasty, we're cutting you off. Where PayPal says, oh, yeah, I know that's your money and you can still log into your PayPal account, but we're not letting you have it. Where YouTube says, oh, fuck no, we're deleting all your videos. Where Twitch says, we are blocking you from streaming. In today's world, why is it when we have Hive and we have this answer, when we have blockchain solutions, that we're still struggling to properly facilitate that transfer of value? And I'm curious on that. Oh no, the gif of my wild hair in chat. I'm a monkey? I'm a Sasquatch. I don't know, but my hair is wild. So I kind of want to lead off with that today. I want your guys' opinions upon it. If any of you guys want to come on air and talk about it, great. If not, we'll talk a little bit more about how ways we can make the blockchain a little bit better. If you're watching on one of the other places, anywhere you may be, say hi in the chat. This is more fun when we're interactive. I am Crimson Clad. This is my show, CyberBuzz Radio. I hang out here on the weekends and I talk a little bit about decentralized technology. I talk about the Hive blockchain. We talk about community. Sometimes we go right off the rails. And I mean, today might be that day, given how many monkeys are already in chat. Azaria says tipping is le poop, which is a much classier way to say tipping is shit. It is le poop. Tipping is le poop. I feel like it was CyberBuzz one time that I did the entire episode in a terrible, bad Moldovan accent, I think, because I played Fly Away on My Space Rocket. So maybe we'll do that again. And Addicted is saying it's hard to monetize a product that you've given away for free. I agree. And it's interesting because there are some inherent reasons we create content. And in a lot of cases, we always did create content for free. So what changed? Is it simply the ability to monetize that means we're no longer going to give it away for free, even though we were giving it away. It was free. You could have it. Please come take it. I'm desperate. But now that we know there's a potential to get paid, now is it, fuck you, pay me? It's a fascinating topic. But listen, today we're going to play a lot of music. We need to get a little dance. I don't know where you are and how you're hanging and how things are going for you. But the reality is the world is rough. We need a little bit of fun. We need a little bit of lightheartedness. And you know what? This is a Synthwave show too. So we'll play some music. We'll come back. We'll chat a bit more. Maybe it'll be shit and monkeys. Maybe, baby, it'll be about some actual practical things. We've just started off talking a little bit about tipping and why the blockchain facilitates it and how we can make it better, and we'll go from there. So I've picked some tracks today. I got lots of fun synthwave for you now. Now, here's a really interesting take on it. Some of you guys may have heard this. Let me know if you've heard this. Twitch recently changed their streaming policies, and they said that most music on streams will get caught now, and you will get DMCA strikes, takedown requests. Now, we've talked to who is Poeta Bendito. That name's amazing. Poeta Bandito. That's probably not said correctly, but one thing I can tell you is if you're new to the show, and maybe you're old to the show, the first time I read your name out loud, I'm gonna fucking butcher it. Now, Clay's saying Twitch is garbage. Agreed. I've started streaming there in the hopes that I can show people the light, show them a better way. So here's the deal. Before we go to the music, let's talk about this because this is fascinating. And Hive, Hive fixes this. God damn it. Hive fixes this. It's a hashtag. Hashtag Hive fixes this. You might have seen this around, So if you can play music, Twitch can shut you right the fuck down. They can shut your whole channel down. Now, a lot of people help artists that they love out. They're, playing their video games. They're a big streamer. They put some music on in the background. Bang! They get demonetized, kicked off the platform. Holy shit. And Twitch said, we don't give a shit what the artists think. We're going to do this. And so there's a lot of people who DJ or do radio shows like mine or share music and try to kind of bring attention to artists who are paying for the music or whatever the case may be. All of a sudden, Twitch is like, absolutely not. We're going to demonetize you. And yeah, Clay is saying this is literally the case. They'll ban you for being edgy. They'll censor you. They'll demonetize you. These are big things in today's world. And we do actually have a death pool going on for me. So if you guys are interested, you can join it. We're gonna totally. Oh, apparently you can sit there butt ass naked if you're a chick and body paint yourself. Not on the to-do list, I must say. However. We have a death pool on whether or not I'm going to get banned and how long it'll take. So you guys, anytime you want to enter, throw some ideas in the ring. And when I do finally, whoever's closest, I will send you Hive. I will send you money if you get closest to when I get banned. But the reason I bring this up is one of the most interesting things that's happened right now is a lot of people in the synthwave and even in the metal space rely. Hey, Pandito, good to see you. They rely on streamers. They rely on community members sharing music with each other, building up a following, and then saying, hey, here's music I really like. You like me. We're similar. You check it out. And we know how effective that is. We know here, right? Like that's what we've all gathered for. So Twitch announced this and artists are going, wait, what? What? No. You're going to ban people who play our music on their stream? Please don't do that. And artists actually are saying, no. Like, we want to make money too. But when somebody properly attributes an artist and when, we're given that attention and that love, it's good for us. It's good for them. Don't do that. But Twitch doesn't give a fuck. And this is one of the reasons that we have to start breaking away from centralized platforms. It's one of the reasons that things like Vim, like Hive, and yeah, Inertia's got peer-reviewed social media. When we start taking that control back into our hands and we start decentralizing our ability to produce, consume, create, and share media, we start getting around these problems. Now, one of the most fascinating things out there is there was a giant backlash in the synthwave community and also in the metal community. And a ton of artists started saying, hey, go ahead and play my music. I'm putting it out here for everyone to see publicly. Do the thing. play my music, share my stuff. People are going to buy my merch, support me, go for it. So artists and streamers and content creators have all banded together here and are saying, hey, the way we're doing things is broken. How do we fix it? So it's very possible that I'm going to play some music for you guys today on Twitch. I'm going to play you a bunch of great songs. I'm going to play them on YouTube. I'm going to play them on Periscope. And of course, I'm going to play them on Vim TV, mspwaves.com. All of these streaming solutions. And I can tell you where I won't get banned from. It won't be the blockchain. And I'm still going to keep playing you guys music. And I'm going to put some, good new music in your ears, some synthwave in your ears, and hopefully you're going to find some music that you love. And maybe some artists you'll support. So yeah, Izaria, I agree. They don't care about indie artists. They don't care about somebody who's not big at the label. And if there's one thing that we know, right now in today's world, we're experiencing such a pushback for grassroots everything. Anything that's too big is way too big. It's behemoth, it's mammoth, it's colossal, and it's fucking over our ability to meaningfully transact value. Now, value doesn't have to be monetary. It can be ideas, it can be friendships, it can be knowledge, it can be assets as simple as a game or a song or a piece of art. But we're constantly being blocked from doing that meaningfully. And that's why blockchain fucking matters. And yes, Clay, you're spot on. Like the government, it's too big. Most of us in crypto, have this idea of like, we want to end the Fed. And you can't do that right away. But what you can do is you can start pushing for smaller, more useful, hey, schmoogie. That's what we're pushing for. That's what we want to see. And a lot of the people that get, they come here for the synthwave, for the heavy metal, for the incredible, awesome art, to read somebody's post because they want to like things and earn some shiny digital money. Whatever the case may be, whatever brought you here, it is the first steps towards hopefully trying to fix a really broken world. Yeah, inertia, defund the Fed, defund everybody. Defund all of it. What does it matter? Fiat doesn't mean shit anymore anyhow. Anyways, my name is Crimson Cloud. This is CyberBuzz Radio. We have a lot of fun here on Saturdays. We play some music. We talk a whole bunch of shit. If you want to bring up a question, a topic, some community stuff, thank you for the upvote, my friend. Whatever the case may be, let me know. If you want to come on air, also cool. Otherwise, we're going to play some great synthwave. We're going to hang out together. We're going to have some fun. And cheers to you guys. I'm drinking a big thing of coffee because it's been a goddamn rough week. So speaking of artists who have now allowed us to play their music, and before we couldn't, I've got a bunch of people that I want to include in today's playlist. So one of them being Occam's Lazer. Now, Occam's Lazer is a cool, small synthwave artist. He's not huge. He's hanging out on Twitter, and in fact, occasionally has liked tweets about this show where I shout him out and say I'm going to play his music. That to me is cool. That's a peer-to-peer transaction. Now, I want to share his music with you. I'm going to play something that maybe was going to be a little bit on the nose, possibly. It's a track called Quarantine. It is from Occam's Lazer. My name is Crimson Cloud. This is CyberBuzz Radio. Whatever you guys want to talk about, it's a very, it's a rainy, drizzly day here in Vancouver. It's very Blade Runner-esque. I'm standing in front of my window and everything is gray and drizzling, and it just feels like there's something in the air. There's something that's tightly wound. And I want to spend my day with you guys here on MSP Waves. There you go. A little bit of Occam's Lazer. Hey, I see the Infiltrator has joined us. The Infiltrator. What a fucking cool name. Hey, what's up? You're going to fit in here. So Croc is new. Croc doesn't even know what blockchain is. And that's cool. If you're joining the show and you don't, no problem. We will work with you. That's what everybody's here about. I see Philodendron has joined us. Hey, that's 7-11. Some of my besties from the East Coast, things are kicking now. Things are popping. So if you're watching on one of the many streams, Oot and a Boot. Oh, it's ended. Yeah, I know. Don't worry. I've got many more songs to play for you. We're going to do it. So I'm going to head right out. Had him, lost him. Listen, that's how I know I've truly been successful, is if I can give you a shout out and then you immediately piece the fuck out because I'm a horrible DJ. That's fair. That's fair. So yeah, that's fine. We could talk a little bit more about blockchain, but we started off the show talking a little bit about tipping, and not just blockchain specific tipping, but tipping in general, and why tipping is important for creators, consumers, peer-to-peer relationships, and why it's something that we're seeing becoming more and more important in today's world, especially where we are relying on each other for entertainment, for information, for news, for community, for, even for justice. I mean, the reality comes down to the fact that we really are massively controlled by centralized entities that are super, super big. Now, there is, and this show should be remembered as just the tipping episode. Yeah, just the tip, just for a second, just to see how it feels. I'm here for you. Now, I have to admit, thank you for the upvote, Pandito. I have to admit, this shirt is a little more see-through than I expected it to be now that I just looked at it in the thing. So we're gonna close that so I don't distract myself. But so here's the reality. We've just started moving into a new grade overlay. We've got the cam now. It's a little more me and you. We're having a little conversation, and we're starting to push the stream out wider and more abroad. So if you're on traditional social media, consider giving me a follow. It's so gross to ask, but maybe we can start reaching some more people. And if that's not the case, that's fine too, because eventually I do want to lure you back to blockchain. I want you guys, and many of you here have been with me for a long time, for like 3 years. You've been with me for 3 years on this show, on the blockchain, and exploring the ideas that we all kind of come back to, which is how can we embrace new technology? How can we embrace these changes in the world that are leading us more towards hopefully slightly more Blade Runner than Mad Max, but honestly, I don't know. If we had to pick like a 1980s dystopian future representation, I don't know where I'd want to end up. I mean, I feel like I'd do okay in Mad Max. But my aesthetic is a Blade Runner aesthetic. And I see Freeborn Angel has joined us. 2.5 years. Okay, Crocodile Cruise is Mad Max. All right, fair enough. I did go as a war boy for Halloween, and I definitely do identify with some Mad Max values. And that's not to say that I will 100% kidnap you and strap you to the hood of my car and drink your blood kind of thing. But I'm just saying it's a possibility, because we are headed for a future. What does that future look like? What kind of what does that look like, and what does that feel like, and what place do the technologies that we've embraced play in that? What is blockchain? How does that come into play? And over the times that we've been doing this show and talking together, we've discussed what are things that we could be doing better with blockchain. We know very well that, just taking something and cramming it onto Hive is not the right answer. I'm loving it. The inertia's filling chat with cats, and I think that's delightful. That's perfect. Also, that is so confusing. That's more proof that cats are a liquid and not a solid. But yeah, so many of you guys listening for a year, listening for 2.5, it's wild, but we've been having these conversations, and we've seen some real shit in the space. And, everybody in crypto loves to say, everybody in blockchain loves to say, it's early. It's still early. And there's some truth to that. But we also can't just keep saying it's early. We are starting to move into a middling period. Maybe it's early for adoption, but certainly in terms of the tech and what we're doing and where it's, getting out and about. Mexican Spock is new here. Yep, the newest. It's not that early anymore. And it's time for us to really start looking at what is crucial, what is critical, what can we augment with blockchain, what can we do that makes our lives better, and what can we change for the better? Because I think right now, and Megan Stuff has touched on this, Ron has touched on this in his show, and there's no person in the world right now who isn't feeling like, are we at a point where people are demanding that we just burn this mother down? We just burn it all the fuck down and start over. Is that the right way to go? And is this a cyclical thing? Is this a normal impression? I don't know. We kind of have to think a little bit about what we want from the world. And it is very easy to say, fuck it, it's not working, take all the money away, burn it all down, knock down the statues, occupy whatever. These are meaningful, but are they effective? And it's a scary question to ask. And the same thing happens in our tech. Should we be burning down and starting anew, or is an iterative approach more important? And that's something that we struggle. Yeah, inertia, exactly. ARPA, it's still early. DARPA, it's still early. Usenet, it's still early. Web 1.0, it's still early. Web 2.0, it's still early. Web 3.0 is here. We're always going to feel like it's early. Always. Always. Until the universe catches up with you, and then you're like, oh, fuck me, I'm so old. Oh, fuck. What happened? Everybody hits that moment too. But certainly we're watching. Revised Sociology says, I remember I spent most of my university career hanging out with eco-anarchists, and boy, was I in for a shock when I came back to the real world. That's a really good point. So for you guys, there is a period where you're just kind of like growing into your quasi-adult brain. You've come out of a period of childhood. You've entered your teens where you are strong and you're invincible and you know everything. And hey, Hive Qua is here. Hello, Qua. Hi, Qua. And so you know everything. And you know that you know better than the generation that came before you. You know that you can fix it. And you know that the only way to change it is to take everything they've done and burn it to the ground. And that's just this inherent youthful knowledge. And I'm not saying that younger people are ineffective. I'm not saying that they're even wrong. But do you think this is a really common thing that happens? Because I do. I think there's a point where you stop that idea of let's kill all the boomers. Everybody that came before us is completely wrong. We can't keep anything they've done. It's all a disaster. And eventually you start saying, okay, well, this is what they had. This is what they did with it. How can we change it and make it better while maintaining that stopgap as we move towards something better? And that's a really sort of tricky shift in thinking. Crocodile Crew says, I'm still invincible though. Fair. Me too. Absolutely. V8, I'm going straight to Valhalla. Witness me, bitches. 100%. Shiny and chrome. No doubt. So don't get me wrong. But there's certainly this same space in blockchain, in technology, and anything else. It's throw that other thing out. We don't need it. It's wrong. Everything about it is wrong. You're wrong. You're bad. You should feel bad. But iteration matters. Having something to stand on while you aim and reach higher matters. And I find this really fascinating because extremism, and especially within the blockchain space, but everywhere in the world, tribalism is reigning supreme. Are we too emotional to move forward into the future? We need emotion, but are we too emotional? I'm curious to know this. And especially in a blockchain-centric atmosphere like we're in, where we are constantly trying to find ways for technology to solve our problems, but we're also constantly tripping over the fact that somebody flagged me. Where do we separate these things? Where do we separate our mental youth in terms of this technology? Where do we separate out that emotion? How do we make tech better and change the way we think? And can we? Can we think? Inertia is literally just gonna do a quick sudo and we're gonna upgrade the whole fucking planet and it'll be magic. I like to think that maybe we've got all of the we've got the Earth on PM2 and it probably actually does crash now and again, but we've got a watch and a restart, so it hasn't fully collapsed yet. Goodness, so let me catch up with chat here. Let me see. So Freeborn Angel says we're gonna have a reset coming because he or she, sorry, I assumed your gender. I assumed your gender. You can call me Karen. Reset with the sun going micronova in the next 100 years. That'd suck. Wow, we are not prepared for that. Revised Sociology says they're not fighting. They're just queuing very angrily. I'm in Canada. We also do that. We also queue. We inherited that from our colonial brethren. So yeah, Patient Zero says blockchain actually breaks all the natural laws. And I think this is interesting. Patient Zero takes a lot of shit from us on this show because he's very willing to explore topics that make us uncomfortable. And in a lot of ways question whether we should even be exploring blockchain at all. But this is a good thought. Is it that unnatural to have a transparent wallet? Is it that unnatural to be able to peer review or downvote or flag and bring these sorts of designations back down to a peer-to-peer level? We've trusted in the past that the police are going to be our flaggers, that the government are going to downvote each other. Now, this is dumb because we're connecting real-world actions to blockchain actions. But if we were to look at it, I'm Krim. I get up this morning and I write an article on tearing down a statue. And everybody around me goes, well, that's fucking dumb, Krim. And they downvote it. They say, nope, don't like it. Not here for it. Don't like it. And they downvote it. There's a peer reaction to my idea. I've done it. You can't stop me. That's your response. The flip side would be, I'm Krim. I get up this morning, I find a statue and I pull it down and the police come and put me in handcuffs. They're downvoting me. There's a consequence to my action. It's not necessarily peer-to-peer. One of my neighbors didn't come over and do it. There was a construct that I worked inside. So blockchain changes the rules of the game, and Hive in general changes the rules of the game again. So do you think that in many cases blockchain can't be applied to the real world because it is so unnatural? I don't know. And I think this is a fascinating question. We're seeing it play out in the world around us right now. Extremism, tribalism, this massive scramble to find something that will fix it, make it better, an outpouring of emotion, an outpouring of intelligence, and this sort of desire to fix what is happening because we know what came before is broken. So do we burn it all down or do we iterate? I don't know. It's a fascinating thing when you start looking at what we build and how it reflects this constant struggle we're in. My God, humans are creatures of habits. I mean, we could all be replicants. Who fucking knows? It's a good question. Kitty Girl says we're going to have a reset. Everybody can get a good in chat. So yeah, I agree. I love Patient Zero. And Patient Zero often, oh my God, Inertia, that's amazing. Patient Zero often gets razzed on this show because I don't always agree with him. And I do believe there are really important things that the blockchain can do and uses to the blockchain that, it's very easy to sort of try and equate it to a situation that we already understand, but forcing a false equivalency is bad too. So here, the blockchain freaked out when people were self-voting. No, the blockchain didn't do shit. And I think this is a really important distinction before I play the next track. And it's too easy to say this. The blockchain freaked out when people were self-voting. The blockchain did nothing. If you're going to it's the same argument as like, well, that car ran somebody over. That car didn't do shit. That car was a tool. Come on now. The present's being repressed by the king. That's right. Help, help, I'm being oppressed. Now you can see the violence inherent in the system. A watery trollop, no basis for a system of government. Well, listen, I'm Krim. I will throw a sword at you. It's very possible. Will you suddenly be deputized with governmental powers of the blockchain? No, you'll probably just have a sword sticking out of your chest, but it'll be fun. It'll be good fun. So let me play you guys some more music before we the blockchain implemented free flags and fostered a culture of downvoting. But arguably, we already had free upvotes. So by your own logic, free flags must happen. That's by your own logic. You're saying if there is an opposite, then the reverse must be true. You said specifically that if self-upvotes are okay, then downvotes are okay. If downvotes are okay, then self-upvotes are okay. By your own logic, you are saying that implementing free flags is not okay because it changed the culture. But free votes existed first. So therefore, free downvotes was logical and must happen. You gotta be careful with that stuff. So, with all that, who photoshopped my face on inertia? Kitty Girls asked a really good question. I'm going to quickly answer this before we go into the next part of the show. Hey, FBSLO. Good to see you again. But so here's the deal. Kitty Girl, you've been asking, hey, some wallets are showing 0 HP. Is it a node error or something else? It is a node error. Now, what was happening is before, if you were using Keychain to access your whatever front end you were, or looking at your wallet in Keychain, this is the previous problem. Sometimes it would flip back and it would look at Steam. If you were on the default setting, it would look at Steam, and that would result in your Keychain wallet showing 0. Fine, we all knew about that issue. So many people switched off of default and they switched onto the Hive blog API. Great, it worked. It fixed the problem, all good. However, over the course of this week, there's been some work done for the hard fork. And what that means is the Hive blog API actually got a little bit stale. What that means is it wasn't caught up properly to the blockchain. Other API nodes work just fine, but the Hive one that many people switched over to was having a bit of a brain fart. So the most wonderful thing is, any front end can connect to any node. And with the blockchain, think about this for a second. If your bank just suddenly couldn't show you your amount in your wallet, you have no recourse. You can't go, let me just unplug it and plug it in again. Let me grab a new node. And this is one of the reasons. So for people who don't know what the fuck we're talking about and they don't understand why decentralization is important, if the bank stops being able to show you those numbers on your online banking, there's nothing you can do about it. If you're on the blockchain and you're querying an API or you're using a front end and you're saying, show me what's in my account, and it goes, can't do that, you can flip to another resource. You could choose another node. You could choose another front end. So yeah, Schmoogle, one of the biggest problems right now is there's some stuff that's changing in the API, and there are some tests, there's some replays going on. We could talk a little bit more about the tech side of it. It's basically prep for the upcoming hard fork. We could talk a little bit more about it. I do want to play a quick track. I want to make sure that the people who have no fucking clue what I'm talking about get a chance to catch up. But I also want to play some music today. We need a little bit of love. We need a little bit of getting loose, getting free. This Photoshop of my face on a Splinterlands monster is I don't know how I feel about it. But anyways, let me play you guys some music. Now, I said earlier that I played you some Occam's Lazer. I'm going to play another band guy. Basically, Synthwave are a lot of individual projects. And you find a lot of indie musicians, much like Azaria works her ass off. Julia works her ass off. Many of the people even in chat here, Philodendron, Seb, and Alen. A lot of you guys make your own music. You're not a band. You're just you stumping along, putting out your creativity in music form. And we see a lot of that in Synthwave. So FM Attack, I'm going to play you a song called New World. If you ever get the chance to see FM Attack live, I highly, highly recommend it. It's so fucking good. But yeah, I'm going to play you a quick track called New World. I'm not saying that's what we're headed for, but I like to believe that we can make one and we will shape one using technology and emotion and maybe even our youth and possibly we'll all have flying cars, and it'll be neon, and it'll look like cyberpunk, and it'll be amazing. Possibly. I don't know. That's just my hope. Maybe. My name is Crimson Clan, and on Saturdays, I talk about community, I talk about blockchain, I answer your questions, and I wax philosophical. We talk back and forth in the audience, and we play some cool new music. Here you go. This is MSP Waves. Let me flip back over to the main screen here. Uno momento, por favor. Boom. There we go. All right, let's flip back to chat. So, hey, there you go. Fabulous track. Very, very cool. Very 80s goth, retro new wave kind of sound. Yeah, Corbin, you can just hang around. You don't have to register. You can if you want. Given that you don't have a Hive account yet, given that you're just learning about blockchain, just chill. Just hang out and chill. We love to have you. And you will get chat level ups regardless of whether you're registered with our service or not. So don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. If you're watching from somewhere else, if you're watching from Twitch, if you're watching from YouTube, if you're watching from where else am I streaming? I don't know. I'm a fucking shitty streamer. I'm working on this. I'm starting to learn about this camera thing. I'm starting to learn about it. But wherever you may be hanging out with us, whether you're on Twitch or Periscope or whatever, you know, we're going to hang out. We're going to have fun. So I'm happy to have you guys. If you're watching somewhere else, say hello, say hi in chat. And of course, if anybody's watching and they're like, yeah, blockchain. Yeah, I too feel like government may be a little bit large, and I am also interested in owning my own data and perhaps experimenting with decentralization and jumping into the fucking crazy. Let me know. I will make you a Hive account. 100%, no questions asked. I will bankroll you bitches. I will do it. It'll happen. So let us let us continue on. Wow, that's a thing, making stuff. That's a thing. So I see a couple more people have jumped in. Some of you are listening over here. Some of you just want to get your little avatar up on the display, and that's fabulous too. You can deafen yourself in here and listen somewhere else where it sounds so much better. Yes, but whatever works for you. So today we've been talking about a bunch of stuff. We started off talking a little bit about content creation and tipping. We started talking a little bit... we started talking about tipping, why tipping is important, why peer-to-peer, yes, totally, Corbin Dallas, and I made the meat popsicle joke yesterday, and then I found out that Cornelius passed. I mean, obviously he's had other more important roles. He's Ash and, you know, fucking Bilbo. But yeah. Yeah, it's one of my favorite answers. People do ask me a lot, are you a real human? Because technology is wild now. Technology is crazy. We have really great AIs who make really effective chatbots. We have, you know, my DMs. I answer them so quickly, and I have like common things macroed and whatever the case may be, or, you know, whatever. People often ask if I'm a bot, and it didn't help that there was a bot that looked a lot like me at the beginning of the blockchain. So people ask me a lot. And I always think in my head, anytime somebody says, but are you human? Are you real? Then I always want to be like, negative. I am a meat popsicle. It's the perfect answer. Because if they believe you, then they're really confused. If they don't believe you, then that's pretty fucking cool. Yeah, that's marketing. Revised sociology. If you want to jump into the crazy and be my bitch, I'll bankroll you. I am not expecting you to be my bitch. If you want to be. Apparently a simp is a thing. Hey, Lax, I didn't say hi to you. I see Melinda has snuck in. Hi. Because I'm in all the servers. There's a generative adversarial network. Yeah, that's right. There will be infinite crim iterations. And eventually, everything I say is going to get loaded into a bot. And eventually, I fully expect there's going to be some deep fakes, and I'm going to hate my life. I do. But whatever a simp is, I'm taking applications. And we just keep rolling. Train kept it rolling all night long. So we did actually talk about some blockchain stuff today. We answered a couple quick questions, but largely we talked a little bit about tipping, and then we went into kind of a central period where you guys were all kind of throwing your ideas out there on why we as humans gravitate towards extremism and tribalism, and how that manifests in the blockchain space or in the technology space, and how we can take probably I would say the benefits of being emotional or some of our real like human nature, and the benefits of technology that gives no fucks, and how we can pair that in a way that hopefully attempts to fix our world. We keep going through the same cycles. You know, one thing I noticed, and maybe this is just for me at the age I'm at, maybe you guys will feel a little differently, is that a lot of the stuff that we're struggling with today was a powder keg in the 90s. But in the 90s, admittedly, especially the early 90s, I was 7, 6. And so the world looked very different to me. I hadn't moved into that next phase of thinking. I didn't possess the faculties. And certainly, I didn't have the critical thinking skills that I have now. And that's probably the one that we need the most of. Critical thinking is really fucking important. You need a little bit of media literacy, and you need a little bit of critical thinking. And as soon as you get those things, you can kind of react emotionally, but break down why you react emotionally. So these are important things that complement each other. And I know that in the 90s, a lot of these same struggles that we're feeling in the world were happening. There were race riots. There were strange, technological things happening. There were all sorts of parallels that could be drawn even in the 90s to what we're experiencing right now. And I didn't see it because I was a kid. I didn't understand it. I was partially sheltered from it, but partially just didn't have the function, the executive function, to really understand my place and my thoughts about the world around me. No big deal. And so for those of us who are just reaching an age now, we're going, it's the worst it's ever been. It's never been worse than this. It's all fucked up. Nothing like this has ever happened before. You burn this fucker down. It's all wrong. Is it potentially that we've lost some of the context? And with a little bit of context, could we bring some new, fresh ideas to the table? Got to match it. We have new technology. We have more ideas than ever before, but it's the same old song. I don't know. I'm fascinated by this. I really, really am fascinated by this. Lies. Yeah, Lax is saying lies. It's never been better than this. Yeah, that's fairly true. Think about even in the 70s or the 80s, medically, technologically, anybody coming from then to now who saw even a neighborhood from them to now, or what we have then to now, would probably argue, this is better. This is great. Think of all the things we can do. You can literally carry the entire fucking universe in your pocket. It's wild. Anything you want, any second, any information, anywhere you go, you can listen to somebody else anywhere in the world, any piece of music, any piece of literature, any piece of writing. You can hear it, and you can hear it literally voice to skull. No wires, no cables, no nothing. It's fascinating. Like when you stop and think about even 10 years in technology, maybe, and I bring this up a lot, but maybe you couldn't leave your house. You have a disability. Maybe you're not able to travel anymore. Something has happened to your family, whatever the case may be. Maybe maybe you have agoraphobia and you can't leave your house. You can go anywhere in the world. You can see anything, anyone. You can build anything. You can walk along a cliff in Ireland that exists, or you could fly through space and look at someone's artwork who lives, in a bunker on the other side of the world, and you could do it fully immersed. It is better than it's ever been. So how do we keep that going, right? And blockchain keeps looking for ways to fix this. It keeps looking for ways that as we this guy's saying I could have passed on the 80s myself. Oh, inertia. These so many clips. I just talk so much with my hands, and it's so uncomfortable to see these captures of me being like, it's not good. Oh no. But it's a fascinating look at things. Here are people who have grown up only in good times. Is this a cyclical thing? In the 60s, in the 80s, in the 90s, in the 2000s, in the 50s, in the 30s, in the 20s, Prohibition. Before that, in the Industrial Revolution. Is there always a group of people who have grown complacent with technology as it is and believes that the world could be improved by them because their baseline is higher than everybody else's? Whew. Thoughts. blockchain comes into play here, right? We want to take this weird, trend of globalization and put power back in individuals' hands, but I don't know if we're ready for it. It's a fascinating thought. So listen, do you have any more stuff that you want to talk about on a blockchain level? Is there Hive stuff that you want to talk about? Because one of the things I have 2 more plans for today that I want to pick your guys' brains on. There are 2 things. Nice studio. Oh yeah, thank you. So we're getting there. If you were here last week, all of these were sitting on the couch. I hadn't hung them up yet. So these are now all up, and you actually can't see, but I do have I finally got David Bowie back up as well. He's out of shot, but he's there. Can I pull him down without ruining the entire studio? Yes, I can. So my prized David Bowie glass spider tour. Yes! He's up there. So we're getting there. There's a little bit more work to do. I've got some more stuff. Over here, you can't see, but the filing area is done. Over here, some area for video content is done. I got a casting couch so people can audition to be my simp. I'm sorry, Pandito, I missed your fork suggestion. Would you mind copying and pasting it? I'm really shitty. I'm doing my best to keep up with live chat, but sometimes I am a very bad DJ. So please. Now, Freeborn Angel is saying, why are vote values down and account claim costs up? Yeah, great question. That's a great question. Your vote is bigger on Steam and you've got less powered up. That's a great question. Thanks for asking that. So one of the things that you need to remember about our network is it's constantly being balanced for activity, and it's constantly being balanced among shareholders, stakeholders. Everything is looking for, it wants to shake out at a sort of place of sustainability. Now, what do I mean by that? When we have lots of people who are using the network, we have to find a way to adjust costs of things to make sure that everybody has proper access. So in this case, you're asking, hey, everything is costing more RC. Correct, because more people, more whale votes, less for everybody not getting. Yes and no. But in this case, let's start with RCs. A lot of people are using Hive. Therefore, your RC costs are adjusting to a lot of people using Hive. Not very many people are using Steam at current. Therefore, there is less competition. The network is not being strained. So your resource costs, it costs less to use a network that's not busy. So constantly, the blockchain is adjusting to make sure that everybody has a crack at it and that everything kind of shakes out across all users. Now, your votes work the same way. So in the case of Steam, there's not a lot of people voting, period. So let's just start with just how many people vote. How does voting and the vote values come about? We've talked about this a little bit before, but let's just do a quick refresher. 1, you have the daily reward pool that's generated. Now, the reward pool allocation for the day. Let's talk about it like a pie, because pie is fucking delicious. Like, fucking delicious. Yeah, exactly. Splinterlines itself. You're right. RC costs go up a bit because there are more transactions happening on the network. So here we are. Pie. Pie's fucking tasty. The reward pool of the day on Hive. We don't need to talk about Steam, but the reward pool of the day is there. And as the day goes on and everybody starts making votes from all over the blockchain, wherever, I'm sure that's going to get screen capped. All those votes come in and the reward pool starts adjusting the math. It says, hey, if only 10 people vote today, everybody gets a big slice of the pie. But if we have to cut that into more votes and more votes and more votes, as the day goes on, as more activity happens, as more votes are allocated, right? Each vote gets a little smaller. Yeah, I love pie too. Pie and pie. Tasty and delightfully mathematically correct. So the pie gets a little smaller. All the pieces get a little bit smaller. Everybody still contributes, but the allocation adjusts. Now, Schmoogle's pulled some great numbers. Steam had 111,000 votes. Hive had 225,000 votes, so roughly double. So all of a sudden, you've got the same inflation, right? That's being reallocated differently. But it's not just that. It's not just that. Votes are one aspect of it. But you also have to look at the stakeholders. And this is the part that gets tricky, because it's really easy to think, yes, it's just every number adds to the pie. We divide it evenly, but we don't. And so this becomes the trickier part. Not only are the slices of the pie divided up into however many votes there are, there's a weight allocated. And so on Hive, you have more and more and more people staking. And you also have more and more and more people in the middle class. It's crazy. We're actually growing more dolphins, more orcas, stronger, the stronger proletariat. But for real. And so all of a sudden you have more votes that are falling in this middle level of weighting. On Steam, you've got a lot of people powering the fuck down and getting out. And so what starts happening is votes are weighted very differently. There's not much of a middle class left on Steam. There are a lot of little minnows who are constantly powering down, who don't stake a whole lot. And then there are now some mega whales who are snapping up all of what's being powered down and who, have been stacking or whatever the case may be. So all of a sudden, not only do you have your piece of pie being cut up just based on the number of votes, you're starting to see that the weighting on those votes is wonky as fuck. And of course, what you're seeing is less people voting. Most of them are whales on Steam, and everything is very shifted. Whereas across Hive, there are more people in the middle class. There are more users that are just normal, who are impacting the day-to-day rewards pool. And what that means is overall, vote values aren't as high, but there are more people contributing to the voting process. There are more bits of content and transactions. There are more interactions and engagements happening daily. So not only does the resource cost go up, you also see that, things kind of level out because lots of people are involved. And yet, they're all having their own chance at peer reviewing other content or leaving votes or whatever, however you want to look at it. But it's fascinating because it ends up showing off how the system can be scaled. Schmoogle's right. There's more distribution of rewards. And so does it feel as good when I look on one platform, I can give a $30 vote, and on the other, I can give a $2 vote? At a very base level, it's like, well, that fucking sucks. But when you start looking at what that says about the ecosystem and the people in the ecosystem, and when you start looking at what that says about the value transaction and the usage and the scalability of Hive, it's fucking awesome. And it means, you're going to have to hustle a little harder. If your goal is to be able to give out them fat votes, then you're going to have to hustle a little harder. If your goal is you want to give out as many votes as possible, you can still do that. All of these things are possible. But you can also trust that the system and the blockchain is always going to adjust itself in a way that allows you to do more. You can do more. Other people can do more, but it does mean that competition gets a little fiercer, and that's okay. That's not a bad thing. That's moving us towards an end goal where everybody's using Hive, everybody is owning their data, their content, and whatever else, and it's less about the money and more about a sort of a springboard for monetization, but it's more about the tech and the ownership and all the important parts that bolster the money aspect. It's really cool. I'm so glad you asked that question. And of course, Pandito gets fucked again on his fork question. So I've grabbed it. I've copied it for myself, and I'm going to address it next go around. However, let me just see. So for the big accounts, it was good that Steam Auto stopped on Steam. They get more of the pie. Not necessarily. That doesn't mean big accounts get more. It means whoever is manually voting gets more. So it's a tricky distinction. Steam Auto stopped, and that means most people who are just phoning it in and auto voting, they're not competing on a day-to-day basis. They're not part of the daily calculations. And so people who have a bigger stake inherently tend to also vote with it because they want to earn curation rewards, right? So they're still voting. Their votes are counting day to day in the math. All those people who just Steam Auto turned off, now the math doesn't have to bring those into the equation. So yeah, even if you're a smaller account, because that's what Freeborn Angel was saying. Hey, I have less over there and my vote's worth higher. Yes, because there are less people overall working to allocate the reward pool. It's totally different. And there's a number of intertwined aspects to that. So I will come back to your question about the fork, because fork you, buddy. Fork you! But my name is Crimson Clad. We got drawn into a little bit of a rabbit hole about how the rewards pool and how things balance out on a scalable peer-to-peer network, a decentralized, peer-reviewed social network. And so we did. We got off track, but really interesting. Many moving parts. So let me grab you guys some more music. Let's quickly do a synthwave break. Let's wipe this shit out of our brains. We've already talked a little bit about tipping. We've had some waxing, sort of philosophical on the space of the world, our place within it, and what that looks like for technology, emotion, youth, experience. I don't know. It's been a weird day. We've just been having fun talking, and then we just went over some of the sort of the explainers on why the network does what it does and how it balances out people who want to use it and what that looks like. So I do want to play, I can think of so many things that I want to play for you guys. I'm just trying to decide what. Now, I've already played, it's been a while since I played you guys the Midnight. You guys were begging last week that I would play a Midnight track. Now, there are so many good tracks by the Midnight, but I think I'm going to play a really, a classic that I haven't played in a while that they're really well known for. So I saw last night, I was flipping through chat, and I saw there were some very sexual sax. The Crimtinium. I don't know that I'm ready for the Crimtinium. Yeah, and we could talk a little bit about, Blurt or some of the other things. But for real, I saw some very sexy sax gifs last night, and so I thought, who doesn't need some saxophone on a Saturday? Some sexy synthwave saxophone Saturday. I've run out of S words, but let me do that quickly. So I am going to play you guys a track called Days of Thunder. It's by a group called The Midnight. They are one of those bands who said, go ahead, play our music on stream, share us with the world. So let me put some beautiful saxophone lovin' in your ears. My name is Crimson Clad. This is MSP Waves. My radio show is called CyberBuzz. And, we're here for another 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Come hang out.
Setting sun is a smoking gun, is a four-letter word, I hope it hurts. Love is a fatal flaw, is a broken jaw, is a burning bridge, move your carrots. And the ghost of the boulevard, littered with lonely hearts. City like a graveyard, worlds was a postcard. When you lose your wonder, and you can't remember king-size bed was an escape plan, was an open hand. Now it's a dog from hell, it's a dream you sell, it's an epitaph, it's a photograph. And the ghosts of the boulevard, littered with lonely hearts. The city like a graveyard, worlds was a postcard. When you lose your wonder, and you can't remember where we were living in the days of thunder. 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 Living in the days of
All right, there you go. A little bit of a fade out. I'm just trying to fix up the overlay there. I'm always trying to do it in the break quickly enough, but I didn't quite get it done. I'm working on the listeners. It's fine. Got a little bit more to do, but we'll fix it. We'll fix it. It'll be fine. It'll be ready by next show. All right, so let me jump out of studio mode here. Let me hop back over to the chat screen. Boom, there we go. And hello. We've had some Higher Love by Steve Winwood. Yeah, great song. Not for today. Sugarfix, I didn't say hi to you. Who else has joined in that I didn't say hi to? I'm just a jerk. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're all fine. If you're watching somewhere like YouTube or Vim or Twitch or Periscope, I can't see that you're watching yet, so I can't call you out by name. That's sad. I love embarrassing people. So, you hate your pink color. Yeah, Pandito, you haven't said it yet today. You just got to keep chatting, my love. You got to come every week and you got to chat, and eventually your pink will morph into something new. You will be a beautiful synthwave butterfly. So let's quickly continue, because I said I would come back to that fork question, and that's important. We'll do that, and then I do want to play some more music. Now, it's really funny. Many of you guys know me from Full Force Radio. Full Force Radio is a delightful romp of fuckery and sass, but mostly really heavy music. That's my passion. That's my love. That's what I'm into. Sexual sax. Good God, I'm scrolling back through chat and seeing some of this stuff. But there's a lot of crossover, and we've talked about this before. It's wild, but when you go to a synthwave show, you see a ton of metalheads there. It's fascinating. Sugar Butt, what a name. Sugar Butt, Sugar Fix. Hey, Sugar Butt. Oh, Sugar Butt. So, this was something that was really surprising to me. But then, the more I got into both genres, the more I realized it's very natural. A lot of people who start out making metal music end up kind of reaching back into their past and looking at their influences. And you will find a ton of people who love black metal, but who also love a kind of weird retro sound, or also are interested in this creepy, crazy, technological dystopian future. Synthwave is a meaning of that. And there's sort of subsets like horror wave, or some of the more like guitar driven waves. So if you're somebody who knows synthwave and isn't into metal, you probably could be. Carpenter Brute is a great example. Perturbator is a great example. Dance with the Dead. There are so many. Why's it got to be black metal? Because so formative, Clay. And if you look at Perturbator, why gotta be black? Am I going to get canceled for saying that? Did I get banned? Everybody check and see if I got banned. Corbin, I got you. Corbin, my man. Corbin, my man. See, again, like, I want to be Ruby Rod for Halloween. I'm going to get canceled. I'm not going to do blackface, but I'm going to get the outfit. I'm going to get the dong hair and, like, the ridiculous, like, that leopard print thing. It's going to be amazing. Corbin, my man, Corbin. But I'm going to get canceled because I already did the why I gotta be black. And you guys are going to have to come find me on, you're going to have to come and find me on Vim. You won't be able to get me anywhere else. White metal, no, it's fascist. Actually, metal has a real racism problem. For every band in metal that is super, super committed to being anti-ideology, or anti-authoritarianism or whatever, there are absolutely some metal bands who have really problematic views on race and gender and whatever else. It's like anything. There are assholes in every group. They're everywhere. You just tell them to get bent. So let's not make this too much about metal, but I will say there's an immense crossover between these two things. And I talk about this a lot, especially when I play Carpenter Brute's cover of Maniac, because it gets all the synthwave kids going. It gets all the metal kids going. It gets all the classic sort of 80s lovers going. There's nobody who can hear that track and not lose their mind. And I'll play some more of that kind of music tonight. So there are black metal people bands. Yes, you're right. There are black metal bands. There are some. But you do, Zeal and Ardor is one. You guys are putting me into a musical rabbit hole. This is dangerous because Crimson Clad will always wax poetic about types of bands and subgenres and, musical ideologies. And that's not what we're here for. This is CyberBuzz. We talk a little bit about technology, blockchain, what's going on around the world, around Hive. I try and help you guys understand some concepts. I like to explore things with you, and we do listen to some fun music. So eventually, at some point, Pandito said, hey, I wanted to make a suggestion for a fork. It should be possible to reject upvotes from a personal sort of blacklist. Downvotes may go through, and the value of the vote should be redirected, for example, to the DAO. So, yeah, yes and no. It turned ugly quickly. I know, Kwa. It happens. So, yes and no. I think that's very fascinating. Now, there's a couple of reasons that this would be problematic. Let's take a look at one. One is you can never restrict someone else's actions. That's been sort of the goal of blockchain. I can mute you, but it doesn't prevent you from, say, posting. Or I can downvote you, but I can't stop you from saying what you're going to say. Now, the idea of at a base level of code saying, I actually will not allow you to make a vote for me is a problematic idea, even though you may not want it. I don't want your vote. I don't want it. And so the flip side of that we have now would be beneficiaries. I'm saying, hey, I don't I don't know if it's to stop getting curation rewards for biased sociology or what the case may be, but I think it's an interesting thought experiment. So yeah, maybe Pandito can elaborate a little bit, but here we are. Somebody wants to vote for me and I'm like, oh, I don't like you. I don't want your vote. I don't like you at all. Fuck no. Fuck off. And I want to redirect their vote to the DAO. Now, certainly you could do this now in a way by using beneficiaries. And one of the reasons that this is important is because when you use beneficiaries, they are still making the vote and casting the vote they want to you. And you're saying, thank you, but no. And you're redirecting the funds from that vote. So all of a sudden, it's still all voluntary. They're voluntarily making the vote. You're voluntarily saying, no, thank you. And then you are taking the funds and moving them elsewhere. And so everybody's intention still counts. But when you step in and you say, I am stopping you from voting for me, and even though you said, I am intending to vote for you, you're trying to use code to change that person's intent and say, nope, cancel that, automatically redirect it, change the vote. That's problematic because all of a sudden you are exerting and changing what they acted on the chain. It's not quite censorship, but it's a problem, and it undermines the idea of no one else can force you to do anything on the blockchain, right? We know that. You've got your keys. It's your account. The only person that can do anything with your account is you. Were there this middle step to say, hey, you're making a vote and you want it to go to Crim, but instead it goes to the T-Cozy community, without that sort of, yes, the funds to Crim, the beneficiaries to the T-Cozy. If that transaction was stopped and altered from your intention to somebody else's intention, mine in this case, that would undermine your ability to act on the blockchain. Does that make sense? So this is really important to think about. I understand why you're suggesting this. You're saying, hey man, I don't want to deal with your shit. Now, the other way that you can do this, if you're wanting to block curation rewards, is of course you can also decline rewards. So one, you can use beneficiaries, or two, you can decline rewards. And if you decline rewards, curation does not come into play. But of course, you can't pick and choose whose rewards you want to get. Either you decline it all, or you say, whatever I get, I'm using beneficiaries to put it somewhere else. But those two things cover off sort of the aspects of what you're saying. Declining rewards covers off, I don't want you to get curation from voting on me. And beneficiaries say, I don't want to benefit from your vote. Those are the two ways that you can do it. But both of those mean you're only impacting your own actions on the blockchain. Would there be a setting where you can say, I am going to take this vote that you're making and I'm going to redirect it? You're no longer impacting your own actions. You are changing someone else's transaction. And that's not gonna work. That doesn't work. Pandito says, I'm voting for Crim. And Crim says, nope, that transaction fucking sucks. I'm changing it. It's not what you wanted to do. How do I, as a person, have the power to impact your abilities that way? It's problematic. I totally understand what you're saying and why that would be useful. We do have some applications of this. Now, Corbin's saying, couldn't you redirect all curation awards? Yes, you absolutely could. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. You can't redirect all curation rewards. You can either allow someone to make curation on you, or you don't allow it. You can use beneficiaries for your portion and distribute your portion. But once again, if you were to redirect all curation rewards, you would be changing the way people are voting. You would be having an impact on their transaction. Their transaction is theirs, not yours. And just like they can't come and say, well, you wrote this post and I don't like it, I'm going to make the beneficiary the DAO. They can't do that for you. You can't change the way that they're voting. It's all about personal choice, personal responsibility, and personal control. Anything, yeah, it's a great question, Pandito. Thanks for bringing it up, because you're right. There are some cases where you're like, some big asshole's voting on me and he's farming rewards and it drives me nuts. you do have options, but you have to work within the constraints of how do I impact only myself and make only personal choices versus what do I do, to impact their behavior without actually impacting their ability. Very important. So Kitty Girl is saying, if someone declines rewards on a post, then curation rewards will be rerouted as well as author rewards, right? There's nothing. If somebody declines rewards, it's just nothing happens. It's a thought exercise. There are no rewards. So you can vote and it will burn your VP, but nothing else happens. Nobody gets rewards. Tough titties. That's what it is. Rewards are declined. So you can indeed vote. You can still impact the placement of the post in your feeds. You can still show support, but at the end of the day, there is no movement from the reward pool. And so decline rewards is important because many people go, oh, well, burning is the same. Burning rewards is the same. It's not. Those rewards come out of the reward pool and then they're sent to null. They're burned. They're gone. But they came out of the day's allocation. Declining rewards is different. Declining rewards is they don't move out of the reward pool. Nothing really happens with them. And so it's not a great choice for a lot of people. Most people don't want to do that, right? But again, you can only control your portion of the transaction. And in this case, you can say, here's what I'm going to do with what I'm potentially going to earn. That's the only thing you can control. You can't control other people's votes. You can only control what you get. And in that case, it may be, no, thank you. I will not take your money. Or it'll be, oh, you gave me this money, but I'm going to give it to someone else. Those are your options. So I understand. And I think it's a really fascinating question. Why can't we, decline rewards are excluded from the reward pool. Exactly. So the question is, why can't we have a setting that allows us to pick and choose? Why can't we have a setting to pick and choose? So what if we change the code so that votes on declined rewards posts went to the DAO instead of null? You could, but that wouldn't be declining rewards. You would still have an impact on the daily reward distribution. So Schmoogel's got a great point here and has taken everything that I've just said speaking of Fifth Element jokes, let's cut it down. Declined rewards have no impact on the daily reward pool allocation. So if you change a code that declining rewards went to the DAO, you're not actually declining rewards. You're taking them and you're saying, well, let me just put these over here. And that's different than saying, no, thank you, no pie for me. And the rewards pool just says, cool, I'm going to cut you out of the math and everybody else's slice of pie gets a little bigger. It's a fascinating topic. Now, let's just see. Oh, so this is interesting because Corbin, not a hiver yet. So this is really fascinating that he's keeping up with the conversation and also talking about possibilities. So let me just see here. What about some kind of system where you only get rewards on your votes based on reactions to your vote? If you have an asshole farming rewards by spam voting on you, they would only receive the rewards if the community approved those votes. Okay, fair enough. You're saying let's vote on the votes because I like to vote. What is it? What's the old cribs? I put some votes on your votes because I heard you like to vote while you were voting. The old Ice Cube joke? But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Now, the only problem with that is, would we get cyclical? Oh my God, can you imagine? The only thing that I see, exhibit, thank you, that's right. Yeah, pimp my blockchain, exhibit. Oh God, I just made a they all look the same joke. Oh no, I'm so getting canceled. Oh, fuck my life. I'm gonna get canceled. But I mean this, yeah, it's a fractal exhibit. So exhibit comes riding in and says, hey, I put some votes on your votes because I heard you like to vote while you're voting. Fair enough. Fair enough. The only thing that I see about this, Corbin, and everybody else who's watching and is wondering what the fuck Krim is talking about and how long will it be before I can report her and she gets banned on traditional social media, is you have to have people who are willing to be the voter. Now, Schmoogel's saying, I would want to vote on your vote, approval vote, to make sure you don't abuse the votes. And yes, there would have to be no rewards or benefits for the reactions to votes on votes. Now, here's the thing, Corbin, and it's one thing we've discovered over the sort of proof of brain experiment, which is what we call it. Proof of brain. I'm going to vote on content I like, and other people are going to vote it up or down, and we're going to rank with proof of our brains. We're going to rank this content. That's the whole shtick behind all of this. So if that's the case, if there is no reward, will people spend the time to do it? And this is problematic. There does need to be some type of ROI. It doesn't necessarily need to be money, but we know this from traditional social media. There has to be something that makes it feel, why did we do this? Why did I spend all this time on this? What do I get out of it? Now, for some people, abuse fighting is, yeah, I feel good. I love Hive. I love seeing it do well. I want to make sure that the reward pool does what it's meant to, and that's great. That's part of it. But when you start removing intrinsic rewards, you start seeing it taper off. And that is very problematic. So can you drive engagement? Can you drive this action without rewards? And that's a question we've been chasing for a long time. But it's a cool idea. Wow, today's been awesome. We came into the show with no, hey, Mackenzie Gary has joined us. Blessed be the lettuce. And speaking of blessed, I see Blessed Man has joined us. Sugar butt. And Fearless is late, but I love you nonetheless. So thanks for all of you guys for hanging out. Today's been a really cool, interesting topic. We've had people who have been here for years throwing out ideas behind blockchain changes, and we got brand new fresh eyes. Corbin's just jumped in like a crazy person, has no idea, learning about blockchain on the fly and throwing out really fascinating thought experiments. So this is cool. This is what we need. This is what CyberBuzz is all about. My name is Crimson Cloud. Now, Clay was asking for Gost, whatever. You guys, I actually posted some pictures of him before he moved into his new kind of black metal phase. See, crossover again. On one of my first year's posts was I shared some concert photos of him. Huge fan. So instead of playing some of the older stuff, and actually back here, you can't tell, there's a big reflection on it, but this album right here, this is my favorite album by him called Non Paradisi. It's a beautiful piece of artwork. But what I'm going to play for you is I'm going to play a new track, and it's called Bloody Roses. It's not new, but it's off the newest album. And it is a sort of move into more traditional synthwave sound. And it's got a very 1980s retro kind of feel. So I'm going to play this track for you. I'm trying to keep an eye on time. We still got about 15 minutes left in the show. If you're new, if you're watching on Periscope or Twitter or Twitch or YouTube or whatever, God damn it, come say hi. Check out Vim TV, or at least follow and hang out with us next week. And if you're shy and you haven't chatted yet, say something. I want to send you some Hive. I want to give you some points. I'm working on emojis. I'm learning how to be a real streamer. Help me help you have fun here on MSP Waves. So let me quickly fix the overlay because I just put a scrolling effect on the wrong part of it and I'm in studio mode and all of a sudden the chat is just scrolling across the screen instead of the listeners because I'm a terrible DJ who's doing everything on the fly when I should be paying attention to my show. So let me catch up with what's going on, chat. Let me stop fucking sucking. And let me get the avatars fixed. So the new goal is, you can see on the screen there, they're starting to fly around here. The new goal is I want to show everybody who's listening in the Discord, I want to feature you on the screen. I'm going to make you a little bit bigger here in a second. But let me get out of studio mode and back into chat. Get out of my dreams and into my car, motherfuckers. Okay. So there, I fixed it. Let me lock that into place. You know, we're going to work. We're going to work on it. We're going to fix it. We're going to make it better. We're going to iterate. We're going to make it better, faster, harder, stronger, you know, some sort of whatever. Cool. So let me flip back to the chat screen. All right. So, hey, my name is Crimson Clad. There's a track called Bloody Roses, and it has such a sick 1980s vibe. I'm here for it. I'm into it. I see Bleep has joined us. Hey, buddy. Haven't seen you in a while. So here's the deal. Yeah, Clay, you might have missed this. Corbin is brand new. He's crocodile, motherfucker. And speaking of throwing yourself to the crocodiles, jumping into one of my shows and directly into the Discord chat is wild. That is fucking brave. So yeah, I can talk a little bit about the proof of brain reward system, but that's essentially what we were talking about over the course of the show. So let me put this very, very, very succinctly and in a way that is almost too simple. Do you know how Reddit works? In that, hey, someone makes some content, everybody else votes it up or down, and then when you look at content, it's ordered by votes, right? You rank it, whether you vote it up or vote it down. Essentially, that's sort of what Proof of Brain is all about. Proof of Brain is all about is that we have a blockchain. Who runs Hive Invite? That's Ferrisum. So if you need help with it, I can help. If you want to help him, that'd be great. It's open source and he's always looking for people to kind of take a look at it, give him feedback. But I'll be happy to make Corbin an account. We will do that. Don't worry. I'll get him all set up. Multipass to the blockchain. But so the reality is our rewards pool. We have a blockchain and we have a rewards pool that is made up from inflation on the token that is tied to our blockchain. Now that maybe sound a little crazy, but what it means is there's a little bit of tokens generated every day, and out of those tokens that are generated daily, some of them are allocated to rewards. How do you allocate rewards? You vote for content you like, or you vote down content you don't like. That's all it is it's find something and say, yes, I think this is worthy of rewards, or no, I don't. And everybody does that. And at the end of the day, however it shakes out, that's what you've done. You voted. And at the end of the week, whatever the results are, you get some tokens. It's cool. The idea is proof of brain. We go around, we use our brains, we read, we like, we see, we do whatever. And through this process, we're sorting through all of these transactions on the blockchain and we're ordering them and we're allocating value based on the old noggin. That's the idea. So that's a very oversimplified take on it. And yet, that's enough to get you starting to understand what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the reward system. So hopefully that helps. I feel like we're going to have a little more. So then why wouldn't you not want someone to spam votes on you? Corbin, in most worlds, everybody would take those spam votes, 100%. But remember how we talked about, before that song break, we talked a little bit about how there has to be an ROI on something. Will people vote without an inherent return on the action? And in this case, you could say, hey, I want to vote for good content because I'll see more content on the front page that I like. Therefore, that's a return for me. Maybe. But in general, what it means is people who are doing voting actually get a little share of the curation. They get a cut of it because it's like a finder's fee. I helped make this trend, or I helped boost this up. Therefore, you get a little return on it. And that is tricky. So let me do a quick peek. I do see that Revised Sociology has written up a post on Exode. I will absolutely take a look at it. I'm actually was going to do a big post and a big talk today about art on the blockchain. And so I will I will have to push that off to next week. So taking a look at the time, I'm coming up to the end of the show. I got about 5 minutes left. I might not even be able to fit in another track. But I'm glad you guys came to hang out with me today. We had some great talks. We started out talking about tipping, but man, oh man, did the show ever morph. We ended up going along and we were talking a little bit more about sort of human nature and cyclical problems with tribalism and extremism and, how that impacts blockchain or even tech development. We talked a little bit about that. And then we ended up moving into talking a little bit more about some of the core aspects of the blockchain. And we had some really great theoretical questions asked about rewards allocation and asked about potentially how we can impact where rewards go and other people's voting. And we've had a great chat today. So if you want to hang out for this show every week, there's a couple things you can do. Here in the Discord, you can let me know. I'll put a roll on you. You'll get a ping, and it'll just be like, CyberBuzz, motherfuckers. But otherwise, you can find me wherever you want to find me. My name is Crimson Clad. I'm actually one of your Hive consensus witnesses, which may be a topic if you don't know blockchain that we'll have to delve back into. But currently, I'm one of your Hive consensus witnesses. I'm a moderator here in the pond. I'm generally a crazy community member. I'm really passionate about disruptive technology, and in that case, about how this crazy Hive experiment is going to open doors for us. I love Synthwave. I love music. I love people. This is what it's all about. So thanks for hanging out today. If you want to come next week, I have some topics. What did I witness? I saw it all. I seen some shit, man. Oh, I seen some shit. But the reality is, see, Corbin's already getting it. I'm going to really enjoy Corbin's take on as he's learning about everything. Now, with that being said, we are coming up to the end of my scheduled time here today. I'll be back next week. I would love if you guys can do some sharing. That would be fabulous, because next week we are going to talk about a big, brand new project, a very cool, very exciting thing to do with art on the blockchain. And obviously, some of the people in here are like the biggest and most influential in the art scene on Hive. But we're gonna want to draw some people in. We want that fabulous cyberpunk aesthetic, the cypherpunks making crypto art. We want all of them. We want to bring them in. Next week, we're gonna talk about some really fucking cool shit. So, if you're willing to hang out with me again, and I didn't get canceled or banned on traditional social media, I will see you guys next week. I see, Pandito's heading out. He's got to empty the woofer. Thanks for the show. Thanks for coming to hang out. I'm sorry I don't have time for one last song here today. But if you want to learn more about cool blockchain-based or, disruptive technology, social interactive broadcasting, then you should totally check out the fact that this stream, my stream right here, is powered by the blockchain. And people are seem to be okay with it. You can learn more. You can go to mspwaves.com. Our full schedule is there. You can learn about all the other DJs. We have shows about all sorts of cool stuff. You can avoid me if you want. We have all sorts of DJs, all sorts of music, all sorts of fun. And if you just want to hang out with me, great. Come back here on Thursdays or Saturdays. Find me wherever you consume streaming content, and we'll see how long it takes me to drive you away. I'm going to work a little bit more on our overlay. We didn't talk about that one thing that we want explained in a video. So I'm going to have to pick your guys' brains next week. Come back. I need you. Oh God, these fucking scream caps. I need you. I need you. I need you. You're my only hope. Anyways, see you guys on Thursday next. If you have any questions or comments, my DMs are always open. Find me on Chain, find me in Discord, find me wherever. I'm at your service. And sadly, I'm all done. Bye.